So today I'm going to show you how to make this Tenzi or Starlight 12, it could be any Starlight 12, from 1K polling to 4K polling using this Ragnar, which is basically a PCB, making it allow you to put 4K in it. Now, one thing I didn't realize was there's ones that say medium, they also have small on it. I used the medium one, I did put it into a small mouse. It does fit with a few little tweaks, but that's going to show you how to pimp up your Tenzi. So make sure you get the right size when you do this mod yourself. I'll put some links in the description where to get it from. These are on AliExpress and a few other places. You'll be able to do this yourself. Or you can always ship it to me and I can mod it for you. So I'm Beardedbob, been gaming for 35 years, play a lot of Valorant and Tarkov, waiting for Arena still. If you like gaming peripherals, this is the channel to be. So let me get on and show you how to mod this mouse. So obviously for this, we're going to need a Finalmouse Starlight 12. It can be any version. You can have the Tenzi, which we're going to use today. It could be the original ones. It can be the Last Stand, all that stuff. And you're going to need this mod, Meow Mouse. It reminds me of Ragnar Lothbrok, but it's not. It's Ragnarok. Anyway, I'll put some links in the description where you can buy this from. But this is going to give you the PCB to allow you to modify this Tens or Starlight 12 to 4K capability. It's only 1K standard. This is going to give us 4K, baby. Oh yeah. So, let me show you how to do this. You're going to need your Tens mares. And we're going to have to take this puppy apart. I'll put links to the tools all in the description and say all these other bits. So we take the feet off first. I use Zippo lighter fluid. You can use isopropyl alcohol. You can just rip them off if you want with your bare teeth. I've also done a video on some of the best methods, but you're probably going to need to replace the skates. Sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you don't. So you take the two rear skates off first, because you need to get access to these screws. You're going to need, obviously, a screwdriver kit. What I'm currently using is this puppy. It just comes in a case. It pops out. Oh no, broken. What? We won't ever get out again, I don't think. Just gonna manhandle this out. There we go. So, you need the screwdriver set now. So you need the T5H. Take these out. There's a few videos I've done for teardowns. Sometimes you'll have a bit of glue on the PCB within here that you're gonna have to potentially remove. It can be a little bit awkward for that. So once you've got that off, you're gonna have to take this glue off. You can see it here. There's a bit here and another bit down here. Is it on that side there? There's two bits here. Go keep the battery out. Side buttons will fall out as they always do. So the way I do this is I use a scalpel. You'll be careful here that you don't overly do it. Don't be aggressive with this. Take your time. Gently just hook away with it. Don't damage this to the antenna. You don't want to damage this. Although this PCB you might want to go back to. You might want to put it back in there stock at one point, or if you have a problem with the other PCB, keep a spare one. You also might be able to sell it. Could be worth a few quid. So make sure you don't stab yourself in the fingers as well. Once I've done that and released the glue, and then get something like these little snippers, I just grab the glue and I can just pull it off. So it looks more like that when you've done it. Repeat that process. This will allow you to update your current Finalmouse to a 4K version, which is pretty cool, because at the moment the Ultralight X is the only one you can get, and they're coming out really slowly from Finalmouse. That one's off now. Now we've got this little one here. I generally just grab this and just try and pull it off without ripping off any of the components on the board. Be very careful what you're grabbing, just feel it underneath. I'm not responsible for you destroying your mouse. Now we've done that, you can now release this PCB. Don't overly stretch these rear clips. You can tell me there, a bit of pressure with my fingers there. It can be a little bit feisty, and also they glued down with a pad on the later versions, depending on what version you've got, which is why this is going to be an issue on the sensor. Use a little splunger. Again, I'll put links to all the components I've used and tweaks and tools. So release those two clips on the rear, and then it should just pull off. Just be careful with it, especially the side buttons again. Very delicate. Two more clips at the front, each side of the buttons, and then you can see where it's sticking there. There you go. You want your scroll wheel. At this point, you could change your switches if you don't want these KL8s. I'll give you many different switches. I can also change them for you if you want me to. It's shop.beardedbob.com. No longer need that PCB. Now we get out the new PCB. So this is the one here. I bought this one myself. This has got an orange TTC encoder. Again, you could change that if you wanted. We're going to have to install the switches. I can also do these for you. I can make one of these for you if you want as well on shop.beardedbob.com. You get a dongle. You get the side buttons that we're going to need. You get the presume 4K dongle. Meow-mouse dongle. Whoa, bit feisty. USB-C. So this is presume the 4K version. Get a new charging cable, USB-C. Nice. Because actually this one is also micro USB. So that's another benefit. You get USB-C. And we get a new battery. 250 milliamp battery. It's 240. Can't remember exactly what the default one is. 250 milliamps, so you get a spare battery. You don't need it because this one will be okay. And you give you some spare feet, which is pretty cool. Ultra Glide. Never heard of Ultra Glide, so feel free to send me some to test, but never heard of them. Anyway, now we're going to put some switches on it. Now I'm going to pick, because I'm liking these at the minute, we're going to put these Hawano translucent shell pink dots on it. Be pretty nice. You can put any switch you want on it yourself. This is what I'm picking. Obviously going to need 3 of them. Probably also going to sell this on my shop as well if you're interested. But yeah, it's up to you. Right, now we're going to have to do a quick bit of soldering. Lucky for us, all of that's already done in terms of been desoldered. So we don't need to mess around desoldering any switches. And the encoder I'm just going to leave as a stock. There's plenty of other options. This is the stuff I use. I've had this a long time. It is pretty grimy in here. If you've got any fears, I wouldn't look inside here. Protects it from a bit of heat. Bit of solder, which I use this stuff. I'm using a different tip today, like a chisel tip. Sometimes I use a shovel tip. You could use a chisel or whichever ones you want, really. I know we just give a little bit of solder on the top. People will say don't do that. This is how I do it, so I don't care. You're probably going to ask me what temperature to solder at. I'm going to tell you it depends on the board, depends on your soldering tip, depends on your soldering iron. You can do this. You want to see me streaming these online, you can do. I do a lot on Twitch. I'm starting to stream on YouTube now. We're allowed to do it on all these platforms. So. Nicely done. Nice and easy. That's what it looks like once we've soldered on the bottom. Flip her over. Oh, I do love the look of these. I don't know why I like the look of the switch, because that's going to make literally no difference to my performance, but it looks pretty good, doesn't it? You put fancy rubber on there if you wanted to make it look a bit prettier, but put the scroll wheel back on. Don't forget your new side buttons, because these ones won't disconnect because they glue them on. So you can probably take them off if you really had to, but I did a different connector on here, which is good. In fact, out of morbid curiosity, what's the weight difference? I know you're all going to ask me, so let's find out. So on the stock one with the side buttons, because you can't take them off, it's 10.2. Without the side buttons, on the new one, it's 10 if you didn't want to use the side buttons. Bear in mind, you would also potentially save, if you're not bothered, these side buttons as well. You wouldn't have to put them back on if you didn't want to put side buttons on. You'd save about 3 grams. But obviously you had these on as well. We're looking at about the same, about 12 grams, actually slightly lighter. So plug these in. Okay. Put this back on now, so you can switch the battery if you wanted. I'm not fussed, it's saying milliamps, so it makes no difference to me. But if yours was a bit of a deader, you could do it. If you've been having it for a while, it's probably worth it. Careful putting these back in, these clips can break, so you'll be careful. I've been done quite a few now, I am pretty aggressive with them, but I'd be careful if you haven't done it much. Put your side buttons back in. They're going to be a better fit and not rattle, but they're definitely tighter. You can tell that. See how the post is slightly pushed out? So just be careful. Now put it back in, front first. Get the front in. There we go. Put it back together. Then we'll give it a test. See how it's rocking and rolling. Put the feet back on it. She's ready to dance. We'll test out 4K. See whether it really is 4K. And then we've got a up-to-date Tenzi rocking all the new stuff, including 4K. So if you don't know the mods, you want to go to something like devicetest.com, which is what I'm using here. And with the mouse yourself, you get 2 dongles. You get the 1K dongle, and then you also get the 4K dongle. You also get a black USB cable, but I'm lazy. Got too many of these. This is the 4K one. So you can pick, you have to pair them individually, and then you got the 1K. So I'll test the polling rates and we'll show you the difference. Starting off with the 1K polling, and this one's paired out the box as standard. You can see here, polling around 940, 950, pretty normal. What we expect to see, I've let off some of the polling there, but you get to see where it's at. So that's what we're looking at, 900 to 1,000. It always sits around that kind of polling rate. That's pretty normal. Okay, now we'll put on the 4K one. Now to pair it to the 4K dongle, you need to have the dongle unplugged. You need to get the mouse. It needs to be in the bottom switch section. The top's Bluetooth, middle's off, put it on the bottom section. And you want to hold both 1 and 2 down, mouse 1 and 2, and the scroll wheel. And you get a much faster blinking light. Plug in your dongle. We've got the 4K one, let's give it a test. It reckons maximum 3.7. Got to try and keep it on my monitors here. You can see it's doing about 3,300. Probably not helping my multiple monitors around, but we've got a higher polling rate now. Well over that 1,000 mark. That's how you do it. One thing to note is make sure you remember the size. This is a small one. I put a medium PCB into it. Do have to make a few mods. It is possible, but if you can get the right size, just get the right size. As I said, if you want me to make this for you, go to shop.beardedbob.com and I'll hook you up.